Happy Thursday and Friday, and happy Easter, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us on this live stream directly from Yamato HQ, Kagawa, Japan. So thank you so much for joining us on this live stream. I'm your host, Akira. So do you want to get more profit? So if you want to get more profit, right? So this is the live stream that you want to watch to the end because we are talking about something that will drive your business into more profitability, right? So we're talking about nothing other than yakisoba and yakiudon today, like stuffed fried noodles, and this is the increasing more getting more popular, and then some of the stuff that like kind of underrated products that we want to dive into today, right, in this live stream. And well, by watching this live stream, right, you then like you get like three benefits, right? So first, like you can discover like how profitable, why profitable these yaki udon and yakisoba are, right? And then you'll be able to understand like how you can start making highly profitable yaki udon yakisoba noodles from scratch, right, on your own, right? And then you'll be able to get that the recipe that well we are actually going to make some of the dishes yaki udon dish right today right in the kitchen as well, and then we're going to make freshly made yaki udon on our Richmen Gold 1 machine, which is our most advanced like all-in-one machine, right? Which means that like you be able to make your own yaki udon yakisoba noodles from scratch on this machine, right? So and then part of the series like we've been running like the campaign this month, right? For those of you who are interested in purchasing a Yamato noodle machine, right, this month, which is gonna end like probably like in like less than 24 hours, but like we're going to share with you guys secret code that you can use to unlock the special deal we have for this month, right? When purchasing Yamato noodle machine this month. So please watch till the end, like if you're interested, right? So I prepared some slides, right, that we want to go over, together, and then explaining why actually Udon XO are so profitable, right? And then the way you can even like make more profitable, right? And then I'm going to, because yakisoba and yakiudon are like pretty much noodles, right? So noodles are more important than like the sauce and the, like the toppings or why not, right? So we're going to get into the how you can make noodles, yakisoba, yakiudon noodles, so good, right? In the stir frying content, right? So let me go over some slides, right, first, and then Megumi is standing by to make yakiudon yakisoba on Richmen Gold 1, and then after that we're going to go into the kitchen to see our one of our like noodle school instructors waiting for us to show some really awesome yakiudon yakisoba dishes today. So okay, let's dive into some slides first, and then let me talk about the yaki udon and yakisoba. Yaki udon is kind of probably most of you guys may not be familiar with yaki udon, but like probably more familiar with like yakisoba. But yaki udon is something that's like kind of soul food kind of to a lot of Japanese people. So why do we eat stuffed fried noodles in the first place, right? The purpose and benefits of stuffed fried noodles is that so like I think like there are five things that like we can get out of like stuffed fried noodle, right? So we can develop a unique flavor, right, through intense heat and seasoning applied to ingredients, right? Then we can bring out like crispy texture to noodles and the other ingredients, right? Then it's a quick cooking enables serving a hot food fast, right? And then they're very, I mean, great for takeaways because they, still taste great, right, after they get cold, and then they are highly profitable. So why they are so profitable, right? So like yakiudon yakisoba, like they basically consists of like well, noodles, right, and then seasoning sauce, oils, and then toppings and vegetables, right? So I did some math, right, to calculate the profitability of yakisoba and yakiudon, right? So, in this calculation, well, let's say that we buy noodles, right? We buy noodles like, from a noodle factory, right? And then we buy noodles at 55 cents per serving, right? And then let's say like, we make 100 servings, right? So we buy like a bunch of these ingredients, cabbage, bean sprouts, like sliced meat and stuff like that, sauce, right? We buy all of them, right? And then, we sell them at like different pricing point. And then, let's say that like, well, to one serving, right, of yakisoba, yakiudon, right, it costs us like $1.60 to, make, right? And we sell at like $5, like $6, $7, $8, right? And then so we make a profit of like, $3.84 when we sell it at like $5. That's like 77% profitability. That's a lot of, that's really high profit, right? And then, we could sell the same thing at exactly the same thing, right? Using, well, we could like probably change like some of the ingredients, right, to make them better, to make them kind of unique. But, basically it doesn't go over, $2 or something, right? And then, so, even though we jack up a price a little bit by a few dollars, that, our profitability like probably, remain like above 70%, right? So they are pretty high, but like we can even like make them more profitable by going homemade, right? We make, well, noodles ourselves. So to make noodles ourselves, like we buy, okay, now we buy like 55 cents, right, of, serving for serving fresh noodles, right? But when we make noodles, right, it costs us like just 20 cents to make them, right? 20 cents to make the one serving noodle. So we save about 35 cents, right, per serving. So what happens is that like when we make noodles, right, we go homemade. The cost of noodles that was, which was like 55 cents per serving, right? Now it's 20 cents per serving. So, profitability like jumped up to like over 80%, right? If you sell it at like $8, right, and then which I think well, still I could expect like a lot of people buy, right, willing to pay the money for the pack of yakisoba or like Yakiudon, right? And then that's like 90% profitability. That's almost like so like that's 81 cents now to make it costs us to make like one serving of the yakisoba dish. So that's really high profit that we can make off of selling and making yakisoba, right? Or yakiudon. And so kind of getting into production part, right, of yakisoba, yakiudon. And then, well, I think other than noodles, right, what's important is oil, right, oil. So there are many different types of like oil that we could, think about using, right? And then what thing like, I'm kind of concerned like when using oils is that like, well, smoke point, right? Smoke point, like that's the temperature, at like which all the oils kind of start burning. That's kind of unhealthy, right? For for us, right? So and there are different applications for different types of oils that we could use, right? For, and then they are priced differently, right? So you want to use then they flavor differently as well. So depending on the price point, depending on the cost of acquiring these oils in your market, so like this is something that you want to kind of have in mind when choosing your oil, right? And then so coming from ramen course that we've been running for 20 years, right? And then we have online course now that like online school that yamatonoodle.com. Flavored oils is like one of the components that we use for ramen soup, right? So if you are running a ramen shop, right, then you can probably incorporate some of the flavored oils that you've already been using for your ramen soup, for your yakisoba or yakiudon sauce, right? And then so flavored oils, right? It's very easy to make. So you have like vegetable oils, or like, lard, the pork fat, or like whatever, vegetable. Then you have ingredients, right? Garlic, leeks or whatever. Then you just infusing these ingredients flavors into the oil by applying heat, right? It's very easy to make them. We make like 50 to 60 different types of like flavor oils, like in our ramen school, each class. And then comes to seasoning, right? Seasoning. So again, right, coming from the teaching, well, our background, like 22 decades of like in teaching like ramen, right? So utodare is like base sauce, like seasoning is another component, very important component for ramen soup, right? And then, so again, like if you're running ramen shop, or like be running ramen, so you could incorporate your tare, right, for your yakisoba, yakiudon, right? So there were so many types of seasoning that, or tare, that we could use for yakiudon, yakisoba. I mean, yeah, soy sauce, like vinegar, miso, like oyster sauce, like even like curry, right? But the basic sauce that we use, oyster sauce, right? And then some of the salt based sauce that we could use as well. Again, like in our ramen school, right? We create these 60 to 70 different types of tare, from scratch, right? We teach them how to make them, ramen school, and then you can learn actually how to make them on our online course, right? E-learning course. So please check out our online school at yamato.noodle.com to see like what we have available, right? So again, like making a tare, right, is very easy, but you need to know the kind of ratio between the ingredients and liquid and stuff like that too, and how we make them. Like, for example, like soy sauce, right? So we basically moving the umami flavors from the ingredients into the soy sauce, right? And then there are two versions that we could do for soy sauce tare, and which are like heated method and unheated method, right? So basically, we put these ingredients, right? Well, like kind of some kind of seafood, or like dried shrimp or something like that, dried scallop or something like that, right? And then we put them in there, right, in the soy sauce, and then we apply heat, right? Heat them up, and then basically extracting umami from the ingredients into soy sauce, right? Or case of salt tare, the salt water, right? And then unheated version is just basically soaking ingredients, right, to get umami out of the ingredients into soy sauce without heating. But it takes time, but like it's gonna give us like more like fresher soy sauce flavor. So depending on your preference, like depending on like what kind of like taste that you want to bring out into the your yakiudon or yakisoba, right? I use them differently, right? I choose it different. So let's talk about noodles, right? Because noodles are, even actually the main character in the stir fried noodles, right? Because basically main noodles are the main thing. The sauce is important too, but like noodles are more important. And so prepping stir fried noodles. So you start off with fresh noodles. Like we first make fresh noodles, and then we either like there are two ways, right, to make stir fry yakiudon yakisoba. So one of them is like boiling, right? We boil the noodles first, and then stir fry them, right? And then another way is to steam them, and then boil them a little bit, and then stir fry. So there are two ways to them. The noodle texture would be a bit different, right? By steaming and then boiling, right? So as you can see in this picture, that right, so they look different. Like it's exactly the same noodles, but like they look different, right? That the steamed one may look like a more yellow, They're more like you know, the harder from the steaming, but they there are two ways to do it. But like in steaming, well, it takes more time, more work. So by comparing the kind of noodle texture that you can get out of just boiling and steaming, just choose it for your preference. Okay, so noodle texture versus like taste intensity, is that like, well, the thinner the noodles, like smaller noodle size, the more intense the noodle, taste of the sauce, right, that you feel from the sauce. So think about, so I mean, depending on that, right, you want to kind of adjust the kind of strength of the sauce, like salty level, is a big thing. So we want to adjust the taste of the sauce like accordingly, right? And we use this chart like a lot, right, for many times. But like I think yakisoba, yakiudon like kind of falls into this spot, right? They are kind of kind of like, well, in the thicker side, right, in the bigger side, and then bigger the noodles, right, bigger side noodles, like softer the the noodle texture should be, right? So we're talking about like something like eggs, like, well, talking, well, happy Easter, but like eggs, right? Eggs and then water and oil, right? Sometimes we use oil too. Protein content of like 9 to 11%, but like when we're talking about like yaki udon, the protein content like falls like below 9%, but probably like 88% more like. And then for the hydration, like water, right? Water and salt and just the vinegar for the yaki udon, right? And then for yakisoba, like we're talking about like salt and constantly and water, right? So for yakisoba, like that's going to be like a little bit thinner, so the protein content would be like higher to make them hard, right? And so Richmen Go one, right, that we're going to use today to make yaki udon and yakisoba, it's like it's very flexible in terms of like, well, the types of noodles that they are capable of making, right? And then what I want to emphasize here is that like, well, the range of hydration that this machine is capable of covering, right, is 25% and like 45%, up to 45%. That's a large range of hydration noodle machines capable of covering, right? Look at the conventional pasta machines, right? Conventional pasta machines that just are capable of covering like just between like 32% and 36% or so, right? That's very narrow, right? So types of noodles that are pasta machines are capable of making are just very small in terms of like hydration ratios that they are capable of making, right? So we're talking about like low hydration noodles, like that probably the most famous popular ramen type of ramen is tonkotsu noodles, right? Up to udon, right? Udon, right? Then tsukemen, the Chinese noodles, other types of noodles. So like it's very flexible. That's what the machine one is capable of doing. So hydration ratio and dose size, right? So higher hydration ratio, the bigger the dose size, and then it gets actually more difficult to process them on conventional noodle machines. And then so basically Richmen Go one and then like conventional noodle machines like, or like ramen machines are designed to make noodles that are like low in hydration ratio, like 25%, and like probably up to 40% and 45%. 45% like a little bit gets a little bit difficult. And then so as you can see in these pictures, see there are a lot. I mean, big difference like in the dough size of dough, right? So as the dough gets bigger, I mean the hydration gets higher, right? Dough gets bigger, so we need to have like wider like roller gap when processing these doughs into the sheet, right, through a set of rollers. So the dough gets softer as the hydration gets higher, right? And then becomes more difficult to process them in through this type of like big rollers. And so talking about noodle sizes, right? Noodle sizes are very important, right? So yakisoba, you know, I think yakisoba tend to be, I mean, trending. What's trending, right? What's trending be kind of a thicker yakisoba. People prefer, right? Because chewier and then have more bite, right? And then yakiudon like typically softer, so softer than well the noodle texture, that bigger the noodle size. So we're talking about like 3 mm probably to up to 5 mm. So that's a good size for yakiudon. And then when we are making yakiudon yakisoba, like any type of noodles, right? These are the kind of variables that we want to have in mind. Protein content, right? Protein content of flour, that we so harder, more higher the protein, the harder, right? And then the wheat viscosity starch is like what makes the noodles chewier or like viscous, right? So elastic kind of noodle texture. So we want to care about that too. Like when we are choosing the flour, we want to use for yakiudon. And hydration ratio is just we talked about, right? And then noodle size, again, like you just talked about them. And then whether they're cold, I mean, so cold or hot or warm. In case with yakisoba or yakiudon, they're served like normally hot, right? But so these 5 things like we need to incorporate when we're making yakiudon yakisoba or like in type of noodles. So flow of making yakiudon yakisoba. So again, like we cook noodles, and then we want to wash them, right? And then strain the water, and then we stir fry noodles. And then in case of yakisoba, we wash them, right? I mean, we cook them and then strain them, right? And coat with oil, and then we stir fry them, right? So this is a kind of flow of making yakiudon yakisoba. And then so cooking noodles is very important, right? Cooking noodles is very important. And then so when we cook noodles, right? This is a very important part, right? Salt water we want to use, right, when cooking noodles, because when we're cooking noodles, right, when we cook noodles in hot water, the hot water containing like all these minerals, right? Minerals like kind of block all these ingredients, right, constant salt and stuff like that, from coming out of the noodles into the water. And then in exchange, like noodles get water, and they, that's how noodles get cooked, right? But hot water, right, kind of prevent, with these old minerals, preventing these ingredients from coming out. So it takes longer time to cook, and then the noodles melt, right? The surface of noodles, like the damaged, and then noodle texture is like worse than if you cook them on salt water. So there's nothing good about them. So if you have to work with the hot water, then try using this like water softener, which is doesn't cost you much, right? I mean, considering the benefits of using salt water, it's just so much like a steal, right? Another thing I want to mention about like cooking noodles, right, is that like we want to use proper noodle cooker, right? So this is the kind of noodle cooker we want to use for udon noodles, right? Udon noodles. So udon noodles, we want to have this like a giant space that holds a lot of water, right? And then we want that udon noodles to kind of like have like enough space to kind of swim around when they're getting cooked, right? So at least like we want to have like more than 10 times the amount of water than the weight of the noodles we're cooking, right? So like if you're cooking like 1 kilogram udon noodles, right, we want to have like at least more than 10 liters, 10 kilograms of water. Nothing is that like we want to have like flowing like function, right? Because over time, like when we cook noodles, right, the salt, vinegar, and stuff like that just dissolve in the water, constantly dissolve water, right? So over time, like as we cook more noodles, the water gets dirtier, and then the cooking efficiency of the water is like it becomes less and less, right? It gets worse and worse over time. So we want to overflow the dirty water, and then at the same time we want to have a tap, right, that runs soft water, right, or hot water to have a clean water, right, replenished with the clean water, and then so kind of circulating the clean water to kind of maintain the water cleanness over time, right? And then this is kind of noodle cooker that we want to have like for the yakisoba noodles or ramen noodles, right? So we're cooking them like kind of portion by portion. So like we have like a basket, right? And then probably in this case like 6 baskets, right? And then again like faucet that runs salt water, and then overflowing function, and then high powered heating, system that like backs up the cooking temperature as quickly as possible. Like when we put the noodles, right? Noodles definitely way lower in temperature than cooking water, right? So when we put noodles, right, and then the cooking temperature drops. So but we want to maintain the cooking temperature at like 98 degrees Celsius and right about like around there all the time to cook the noodles efficiently. So we want to have like very very powerful high powered heating system, right? So we're cooking like udon noodles. This is a udon noodle case that like we have a udon noodle cooker, right? And then we have 2 sinks, right? Right by right next to it, and then so on the first sink, like we remove the starch off by running the water and washing them, right? And then the next thing, like we chill noodles, right? That's the kind of udon setup. So last thing I want to go over is like noodle texture, right? Noodle texture when cooked. So stir fry noodles, right? Stir fry noodles like basically we cook them or steam them, boil them, right? Then so outer part is like it's chewy, right? And then the core part is kind of hard, right? And then but we stir fry them, right? We apply heat, so the outer part like gets crispy, and then the core is chewy, right? And then the bigger the size, right? Bigger the size noodles, that the more core that you're gonna have, right? So that more chewy that it's gonna be, like so. Considering this like kind of final noodle texture, then we want to kind of think back on the all these stuff that we talked about, protein wheat, hydration ratio, viscosity value, and stuff like that, right? Considering these variables, then think about the kind of final thickness final noodle texture that your customers experience, and then so that's the stir fry noodles. Then so we want to start making some yakiudon yakisoba from now, like on Richmen Goal 1. And yeah, so we have Richmen Goal 1 here, and then this is the most advanced only one machine that we have, like we be shipping like all over the world. It's NSF-UL certified machine. That means a CSA certified. That means that like this machine is like ready to start making yakiudon yakisoba in North America, United States and Canada, and then C certified. So that means that this machine is ready to start making yakiudon yakisoba in EU countries. And in fact, we have installed like, I'm not sure like how many units like we stop like counting, but like so many of them like already installed, like making awesome noodles in Europe. And so this is the mixer, right? Silky mixer. That's 10 kilogram silky mixer. It's silky because it's designed, right? It's designed to hydrate the dough, right? Very well. Like it's kind of designed so that, well, the dough is conditioned like an optimal way to, make the best noodles possible. And over here, right, is dissolving the salt and vinegar, right? So this is the udon dough. It's gonna be the udon dough. So salt and vinegar. And if you wanna know the recipe, yeah, please, let us know, and then we can send it to you by email or something. Okay, so, but that's a kind of recipe that we use when making udon noodles on Richmond Go One or like a ramen machine, right? So we have different recipe for when we make udon noodles on udon machine, which is more authentic udon noodles. But yeah, so setting the timer on like this touch panel, right? It's very easy. And then so just pouring this liquid, right, directly onto the lid. And then this lid has like these small holes, right? Very, very small holes that allows this liquid to drip through, to the flour, right? The mixing. So it renders good hydration. So, but we just hate so much to waste your time, right? By letting guys watch the mixer for 10 minutes, right? So we prepare this dough, right, in the morning. Then we're resting this dough, right, by putting in a plastic bag and seal it, and then when you sit at a room temperature for 30 minutes to an hour. And so we're going to this is crumbles dough, right? And then as you can see, we talked about the hydration ratio, right? Hydration ratio, like, udon noodles like would be high, like maybe close to 40%. So the dough size is fairly big, but once you place the dough, right, and the conveyor, the especially one machine is like very smart, so that it knows that, okay, how much dough is like being fed into the roller, right? By measuring the dough with these sensors, right? That's checking out like how much dough is going in. So like, well, how fast do I need to move this conveyor to carry this dough, right, into the roller, right? In the conventional machine, like you typically have like this safety gate that you constantly need to, well, to be shut down, right? I mean, so that this safety gate like actually, well, interferes with like all this dough, right, that's going in, right? Because the dough is big, so that it kind of gets stuck, right, in between the safety gates. So like you be like manually feeding the dough, right? And then so you kind of constantly finding yourself like opening the gate a little bit, and then you end up like stopping the machine, right, for the safety feature. And then you open they feed the dough, and then like touching the opening the gate a little bit to stop the machine again, right? So you're just kind of constantly doing it. So it's very cumbersome, but this Richmen Go One machine like solve the problem, right? And then to have this like really high safety feature, like it's called like cotton sensor, so that there's an invisible sensor that's beaming to kind of catch any object, right, that's passing through this sensor, to stop from going in. So like whenever any kind of object like pass through this sensor, right, the machine stops. So that's why you can have like both both of the both like safety and practicality, right? It's convenient. So after we do this process, like we call rough forming, right, you just made a rough sheet of dough, and then that's still fragile. That's pretty weak, right, still. So but to make a very good Yakiudon, we want to make them firm by combining them, actually combining them. separate them in two sheets, right, and combine them through the roller, and then to make them firm. So Yakiudon is basically this. So we added salt, right? Udon, like we added salt, we added vinegar, and so the color is like just basically white, right? But when we make yakisoba, the color will be like a little bit yellow, like a pale yellow, and because of the potassium carbonate concentrate that we add to the dough, right? But yakiudon is basically white, and then so we add a lot of salt. I mean, relatively, a lot of salt, like compared to the salt that we add to the ramen noodles or yakisoba, to the udon noodles, right? But this salt, like probably 95% of it, like just gets resolved in the cooking water, so we don't taste as much of it as we may worry about. But so this combined process is like usually done twice, right? To ensure that we have very good texture. This is our Yakiudon, right? And so adjusting the roller gap, right, to appropriate size to ensure so we have we have all these like rules that we follow when making different types of noodles, roller gaps, things like that, right? And then so from this point on, right, like we started dusting. So dusting is very important. Like this keeps the dough from sticking together, and especially like udon noodles are high in hydration, so we want to dust like sufficiently to keep them from sticking. So dust them well, and then so once we are done with this combining process, right? So all we have to do is just thin it. We have to just thin the dough to the final thickness. But wanna check the thickness, and then it's 4.7. After it's going through 4.2, so it bounces back by 0.5 millimeter. So the dough is always bigger in thickness than the wall gap that we set, right? So we wanted to check the dough thickness, right, by measuring with the like such a tool as caliper, because that tells us what that wall gap we need set to the final thickness, the wall gap, right? And then this is the cutter we use, right? This is the AG cutter, AG shape, meaning this is kind of unique cutter that we don't normally use, but we use it for like such noodles as udon noodles, right? This gives us this unique shape. The cutter gives us like kind of very clean, clean surface, right? Usually like in square cutter, they gives us like very rough, coarse surface that like, so noodle texture be like kind of rough too, but like this cutter, we can get very sharp, clean edge of the noodle surface. So we normally use it for udon noodles, right? And number 8 is like, yeah, it's number 8. Yeah, number 8 is, yeah, it's pretty thick. I think it's, yeah, I think it's about 3.8 millimeter in width, and the thickness we control by the roller gap, right? So width is about 3.8, and so this is a very thick, yeah, good size for udon noodles. It's very good size for Yakiudon too. But remember, the thicker the noodles, right, the longer the cooking time. So um, that's another thing that you want to consider when ch choosing the size of your noodles, right? Um, I mean, there can be thinner udon noodles that and they still pretty good. So and then it kind of also has to do with the type kind of flour that you can get in your regions too, right? So this is the round cutter number 16. So number 16 is about like 1.9, like 2 millimeter, and then round cutter. So round cutter is usually used for spaghetti kind of pasta or certain types of like ramen noodles, but we use it for yakisoba noodles today. And we've already done the homework and then ready to cut, right? Number 16. So adjusting the bowl gap to the appropriate size, and then the length is also adjusted for yakisoba. And I think the round shape is a very good shape for yakisoba. Gives us like kind of unique texture, right? And so as you saw, right, you can prepare all these doughs, right, and they're ready to be cut, and then like imagine like if you have a restaurant, if you run a restaurant, right, and if you have like a place where you can glass window or something, and then where make your noodle like in this Richmen Go one machine, and then you customers can like watch how you make noodles, right, and then you can even like start cutting the noodles, right, and then as you get order from the customer, right, so like you can say like, oh, freshly cut noodles, right, cut by cut to order, right. So that's, I think, another great point about this Richmen Go one machine. It's not just a piece of equipment, but also sort of entertaining tool. Probably use it on your Instagram, show it on your Instagram, and then to advertise what you have like for the week, right, to your customers. And then so it's very, very good investment. It's not just the equipment, but also all these things, the benefits that Richmen Go one brings to your business. So anyhow, so the noodles are made. We made some noodles. So bring them to the kitchen, where we have our instructor, Mr. Sang, kind of waiting for us to start showing us the awesome Yakiudon dish. And I think Mr. Sang, yeah, this is our kitchen, right? This is our kitchen where we teach our ramen school, udon school, and it's fully equipped. And then we've been running like our ramen school like for 20 years, and then So we've taught over 2,000 students, and yeah. So Mr. Song is our prominent instructor, and she's going to show us the Yakiudon dish today, right? Yeah, so udon, it takes time, right, to cook udon. As you can see, like very thick noodles, so takes time. So we want to start cooking them first. So we're using this stock pot to cook udon noodles today, but make sure you have boiling water, and then make sure you have a lot of water. Remember the ratio, right? I talked about, like 10 times, right? 10 times, more than 10 times the water you want to have for your the weight of the noodles, right? Yeah, so she says that, like, we don't know how long it's gonna take, right, for this noodle. So like we set the timer to kind of longer than we think it's gonna take, and then we're gonna check the texture as we go. So while we cook the udon noodles, like, I'm gonna start cooking the yakisoba noodles as well. Yeah, so what I'm aiming at is we cook the noodles to like kind of 80% doneness, 80% done. We don't want to cook them kind of 100%. We want to undercook them, and then because we're gonna stir fry them, right? Yeah. So we're gonna apply more heat later when we stir fry them. So like we want to kind of stop cooking them at 80% doneness. Okay, so kind of walking back and forth between the yakisoba cooker and then pot, but yeah. So once we cook them, right? Once we cook them, we want to wash them to remove all these starch, like kind of slimy kind of starch that that came that comes out on the noodle surface. So we have a like time, right? Okay. So that cook. Yeah. So make sure that you wash them to remove the starch, like completely of the noodle surface. Yeah. So the reason why I want to wash them like very well, right, to remove the starch like completely, is that like later when we stir fry them, right, they tend to stick together. But well, if we wash them like very well, like to remove the starch like completely off the surface, then there's less chance for them to stick together. So that's why I want to wash them very well. Yeah, so after that, right, I kind of want to chill them. This is another sink. Yeah, so remember that, you know, the setup that we talked about, right, in the slide. We want to have a cooker, and then next to it, like we want to have, this double sink, right? So supplies. Yeah, okay. So let's start. Yeah, I want to start frying all these ingredients that go with the noodles. Yeah, okay. So that was the lard, like pork fat, and then this is just vegetable oil. That's the minced garlic, ground this ginger. Then we want to have aroma going, right? And this is the pork, sliced pork, right? Yeah, they make sure that you apply heat sufficiently the pork meat, right? The soy sauce. So kind of adding the taste of soy sauce, right? Carrots. Green peppers. Okay, the udon maybe ready. But I'm a little busy stir frying them, so that's a seasoning. Yeah, it's a mix of like chili pepper, like Sichuan peppers, right? Okay, so
まあ、拭かないより、ちょっとね、茹でる、炒める前にちょっと油入れて、これの役割として持っていく。
yeah, so you can actually coat the noodles like with the oil before we start frying them. If
しかないですね。
you're not confident in like getting the noodles stick together, right? So
はい、これで麺を具と一緒に炒めて味を。
yeah, so yeah, I want to mix the noodles with all these ingredients, right? Then kind of applying the taste, right? Kind of permeating taste with the noodles. This is a chili powder.
これ唐辛子。
Yeah, chili powder.
です、
oyster sauce going in.
で、また、まあ、塩とろ、醤油。
This is the Chinese soy sauce.
で、色ですね。色はきれいに。
Yeah, so kind of adding the color.
Yeah. 野菜は何でもいいです。どの野菜使っても。ち
Yeah.
ゃんと麺が炒める。
So yeah, you can definitely change the ingredients that go with the noodles. Any kind of vegetables, you prefer kind of meat. Just salt a little bit. Yeah, so see, like, they're not stuck together, right? So that's very important. So plate it.
Chinese の焼きそば。
Yeah, so this is like Chinese style yakisoba. Oh. Right, so another one more dish, right, is that like the udon. One more dish that we want to go with the udon, and then again we need to want to wash them first.
まあ、基本、焼きうどん、焼きそばは作り方はまあ一緒で、麺を茹でて、洗って、で、具と一緒に食べるの感じですね。
Yeah, so basically, same kind of process applies to yaki udon too. So, we want to wash them first, right? Make sure that like all this starch, right? And then here's yaki udon, like they're thicker, and then they tend to, bring out like more starch. So you may want to kind of wash them like more thoroughly than yakisoba.
まあ、その焼きそば用の、日本はその専用のソースもあるから、それまあかけて炒めたらめっちゃ便利で簡単はできる。
Yeah, so in Japan, right? We are so used to having yakisoba, yakiudon. So there are sauces that are specially designed for yakisoba and yakiudon, right? That you can get at any kind of supermarket. It's easier, definitely, right? But if you don't have a sauce, I mean, or like they are very expensive in your region. Like don't worry about like you can make the sauce like using readily available ingredients. So don't worry about that.
で、次は焼きうどん。今日は韓国風のビビン。
Yeah. So today I want to show you a Korean style Yakiudon. That yeah.
これ、韓国ビビンバとかよく食べると思いますが、これ、タレですね。
Yeah. So this is a sauce that that's usually used for like bibimbap and like other types of Korean dish, right?
はい、同じにちょっとね、先に炒めて、で、またソースあげて、味が仕込んでいきます。
Yeah. So I want to start frying the noodles first.
で、ソースは、事前に作ったら、お店、この営業の時に出すのもめっちゃ便利で、早く提供できますので、料理として。
Yeah. So if you prepare the sauce right in advance, then it's a very good for your restaurant operation.
その料理が美味しいが一番重要だと思いますけど、でもそのスピード、早く料理出せるよりの、効率がいいのやり方もね。
Yeah. So definitely deliciousness is like an first priority, but like we'll also want to think about how fast we can serve your customers, right? So um, we want to prepare like everything in order to be able like serve your customers like under certain minutes, right?
はいから、
Okay, so once we're done start frying like the noodles, and then gonna put it in plate, and then
本当にこの作ることは同時でや方が麺が伸びらないから、ちょっと今日はこれしゃぶしゃぶですね。
so this is the so I could have like been doing like this simultaneously, but like so this is the sliced pork meat, like that's um in Japan we have this thing hot pot like called shabu shabu, right? um we have like very thinly sliced meat, and then we dip them in the dashi, right? And then kind of cook them, but like they cook so fast, like they're so thin, right? So kind of yeah, dip in them the dashi, and then yeah, so this is the sort of shabu shabu meat.
で、半熟卵。
And then I want to put like soft boiled egg, right?
で、キュウリ。
The cucumbers, but these are different from like regular cucumbers like you see in, for example, like North America. This kind of Japanese cucumbers, kind of softer.
あ、キムチ。
Kimchi.
これ青じ
The shiso leaves.
はい、これ簡単な。以上です。
Okay, so that's the Yakiudon, kind of Korean style Yakiudon. So two dishes, perfect for takeout, and then, they cost I mean, the cost of like making them like so low, right? So that then you can sell them for like maybe definitely above, $6, right? Or serving. So that's like, and if you make the noodles, by yourself, then you can even like increase your profitability, right? Again, like, as I said, like you could like make like maybe 90% profitability, right, by making the noodles yourself. And then speaking of making noodle yourself, right? So this is the last day of the month, and if you're interested in purchasing a Yamato noodle machine, right? So this is a secret code, like I talked about, right? That I promised you guys that we share it's MAR 2024 Richmen exclamation mark. So if you send this code right by email or something, then we'll send you the special deal for you, right? For those of you just for watching live. Then this is the last day, and we probably have like less than 12 hours. Yeah. So please hurry, and then send this code to us. ASAP if you are interested in the getting the manual machine this month, right? So. And then, we want to thank you for watching this live stream, and this is the last live stream like we have like for this month, right? Right. So we want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts, like from everyone Yamato, and then stay tuned for what we're gonna have like in this coming up April, and then so. Want to thank you, and then for those of you like for enjoying the Easter, right? Happy Easter to you, right? From everyone at Yamato also, and then Yakisoba, Yakiudon. These are the things that like that will bring you a business like more profit. So if you like this one live stream, like please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit the like button if you like this content, and then please hit the bell notification so you won't miss any of our content that's coming out of our channel. And so thank you so much. Happy Easter, happy Thursday, happy Friday to you guys. So thank you so much, and I hope to see you back in the next workshop or live stream. So thanks so much. Bye bye.